Payal, firstly, thank you for this gorgeous, gorgeous film. But before I start asking you questions, I just want all of us to just applaud Team MAMI, okay? This is Shivi and Dipti and Maitri and Anu and Sonia and Eden and Momo and all the people whose names I don't even know. Let me tell you, I've been in these trenches. It is a labor of love and it's thankless. So please give them a round of applause.
Thank you to the projectionists also who've been tirelessly working today as I have been sitting in the projection room. Thank you very much. And to Mr. Homi also who secured us the lamp. Thank you.
I have to say this isn't easy because I've seen the film before and I get really weepy. And I told Payal this, that I'm kind of like a little weepy right now. And she's like, that was the plan.
One of my greatest pleasures of watching films in the cinema is to cry in the company of unknown people. And it gives me a great joy that cinema can give us that. That's why I go to the cinemas, guys.
Absolutely. So Payal, this is a story that sort of gestates inside you since the years at FTI 6 years ago. For 6 years, you kind of keep working and rewriting and writing. How did you stay in love with it?
Tricky question. Well, I think the film, as you grow older, your relationship with the films change that you make. So it's not what I started out with at all, and it became something completely different. Because when I started writing the film, I was closer to Anu's age. But by the end of it, I was closer to Prabha's age. So as you grow older, your perception of life and everything keeps changing. So I think I kept working on the script with that new perspective every time. And I think what kept me, that the script was challenging because of that. But I think we take so long to make films in the independent film industry that you have no choice but to keep at it.
You know, in a lot of interviews, you talk about how you love the process. Yeah. And you're a very process-driven filmmaker. Is the process different for every film, or is there something you follow, and what was it for this one?
I'm a very process-driven person, and with Ronobir, my cinematographer, we work a lot while scripting. Like over 2 monsoons before the shooting, we were shooting Mumbai a lot. We would put those shootings in the script. We did a lot of interviews with many people. Those somehow, some made it into the film, some didn't make it into the film. But at the time that we were doing it, the idea wasn't that this will make it into the film. It was just kind of practice and trying things out. And for example, the scene of, where Anu tells about the nurse, young nurse who there was an elderly man who exposed himself. That is a story we got from an interview from somebody. And that day we were driving back and shooting like with the phone. And I went back and I just put that voice and image together of the city and this interview, just to see what it feels like. And somehow that gave me some feeling, and that made it into the film. So this kind of trial and error, I like to work like this, like you're kind of making something that is a craft kind of thing. So trial and error, I think, really helps me as a process. Maybe I don't have the imagination to fully think at the end what it's going to be. So,
Payal, when you're doing trial and error, how do you know when it's done? Don't you want to just keep working at it?
I have producers who tell me, please stop now.
Otherwise, you just keep at it.
I will keep at it.
You also, Payal, have a very unique style of directing actors. So I interviewed your cast in Cannes, okay, and they were telling me about this incredible process of workshops and recordings that went on for days and days, and she would sort of talk about that expression in that moment and that expression in that other moment, and Chaya Kadam, the wonderful, amazing Chaya Kadam said to me, she said that at one point she was asking the other actors that, यार मैं एक्टिंग ठीक कर रही हूँ ना, इतने रीटेक्स क्यों हो रहे हैं? So talk about this process because none of these performances feel like performances.
See, one thing is that I don't speak Malayalam. So I had Robin with me, but it's very difficult to direct in a language you don't know. So it took us one whole year to rewrite the script with them, and then we approach the actors. So to understand the cadence of the language and to kind of work out how the performance should be, luckily I had very great actors who were willing to give me time. And both Kani and Divya were very, very generous when it came to me not knowing the language and working that out, and Divya getting, you know, the Palakkad slang and all these things. So they worked a lot on that, and I'm really, that's what it really takes a team to make a film. You know, it's just, it's impossible to do it without this kind of support. And I had that with the actors also. But I think also some of it came from, like, it was my first film. Maybe I'll do things differently the next time. But you know, I was also learning and I was also trying and I didn't know what is the right way. So this was one way I tried this time. Maybe next time it'll be different.
When you're directing a film in a language that you don't know, when the scene actually happens, do you just instinctively feel that you got it? How do you know?
Robin. No, so that was the thing. Like we had worked out each scene so many times and done it in so many different ways, and we had tried so many different things that all of us had internalized the scenes a lot, and they were very much like they'd become second skin. The performances, what we were supposed to do. So we kind of knew, also I had Ronobir with me when I was doing these rehearsals, so he also knew the rhythm of the scene. The actors knew it so well. So we all felt if it was right, then we together, they're very, it's really fortunate to have such hardworking actors because they themselves would sometimes say, Acha, sahi nahi hua, we have to do again. And then, you know, it was like that. So it was a truly collaborative process. And yeah, that.
I also want to talk about the visual textures because the way Mumbai is in this film is just so gorgeous and still so tough and heartbreaking and kind of just all of us feel the pain of what it is to live in this city and still love it so much. What are conversations you and Ronabir had about how you'll capture Mumbai?
We were very keen that we capture the feeling of the monsoon in Mumbai because we were thinking a lot that it is a double thing, you know, like in the movies, or when the rain first comes, we feel so excited, like, the rains have come. And, you know, all the movies would have these nice feelings with Amitabh Bachchan walking around in the rain, and that is our memory of it. But when you live the reality of the monsoon, by the time it's July, you hate it. So we wanted this kind of dual feeling to come, and the sweatiness of just before the rain, like today, it was a horrible day, no? Like it was really sweaty and it's raining now outside. So it's that feeling of that sweaty,
Flowing.
yeah. And I felt that the first part of the film, the characters are kind of stuck in situations, and that grimy oiliness worked for that. So we decided to go for the monsoon feeling, or monsoon in Mumbai for me are associated with, for some reason, harbor line stopping. And secondly, you know, like we always have that blue tarpatli everywhere. Everything gets covered with, even Antilla gets covered with blue tarpatli. So that blue was very important to us. And we discussed a lot with my production design team, who were really like thought a lot about details and how prints look in the monsoon season, and everybody took a lot of care to take that vision forward. So that blue gray light, where you don't know what time it is and we're all kind of that feeling to get through the image is what we wanted. And in the second half of the film, which is in Ratnagiri, the soil there is red color, laterite. And so to identify that space, having that red prominently there was a kind of a reference to the landscape of Ratnagiri, the Konkan region. So we tried to work that out, and we also wanted the season to change, because usually after Ganpati, it's supposedly monsoon goes, though it still lingers, but supposedly it goes. So we wanted the season to change, and I think light gives us different feelings when it's sunny, when it's cloudy, when it's shadowy. And so we were thinking how to kind of bring that into the film also, those different feelings of light.
It's also, Payal, the way you shoot women. You know, the close-ups, that there's just such a, I don't know, there's such a love in it. Tell me about that.
I mean, I love these actors so much. It was, so again, for the film, we wanted to do it in, the two parts have a different visual design. So what we wanted for the first part was to have a little bit more distant shots, so that the space becomes like a character. So you are always seeing planes in the hospital, you're always seeing something happening at the back, or outside the window the train is there. All these kind of details we thought of, like, and nobody's alone. Something is always coming and going. But in the second half, it's more focused on the three characters. So we could go closer and closer until finally you could arrive at the grain of sand on the body of that drowned man. And to reach there finally, to see that glistening speck and to be so close. Because that part of the film is a very internal space. It's like an internal landscape. So I didn't want to see the real landscape, but more the body as a landscape, and to go inside a psychological state.
And you've said also that you have a love-hate relationship with Mumbai.
Don't we all?
Talk about that, but you've also said 2 more films here.
Yeah, I do. I think I'm not done with this city. It's so complicated, and I think I need to make more films based here. And I mean, it's a city which, like so many people, like for us, it's also a city. Even though I'm from Mumbai, I lived outside Mumbai a lot more, and I would keep coming back. And I think every time I felt the kind of, it gives us a kind of sense of freedom for a lot of us who move from different places to Mumbai. A lot of my friends from FTI, when they moved, there is a kind of liberated feeling. But it's so hard to be able to manage to live here, and we all saw that during COVID and how hard it was for everybody. So Mumbai has that dual feeling of giving opportunity, and I thought that through the love story of Anu and Shiaz, of them meandering in Muhammad Ali Road, of them going to different places, you know, because you have nowhere else to go, so you just sit in a bus for really long, or you go to the park to kiss. These are the things that you have to do. But I mean, nobody will bother you, because that's also Mumbai, but it's also so expensive to do anything else. So you can't like continuously spend money to go have coffee and things like this. So this duality is there in the city, and I mean, it's a complicated city. There's also gentrification, which is a theme in the film. In that whole Dadar, Lower Parel area, how it has changed, and I've seen over the years, and what it has done. So there's a kind of violent gentrification, which I also wanted to refer to, even if it is very small, but it's a part of the film.
You know, I said this to you when we met in Cannes, that we were so proud of you. And we continue to be so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Your success is so remarkable. What you've done for Indian cinema, for Indian independent cinema. I was listening to an IndieWire podcast a couple of days ago, and Anne Thompson, their editor-at-large, said, this is one of the best films of the year, and it has to be a Best Picture nominee.
We'll see, huh?
So I have to ask, is this fun, or is this pressurizing?
See, for us, it took us so long to make this film. My team is there. Like, we worked for many months. Like, pre-production took forever. And, you know, so when we were making the film also, raising the funds for it, took such a long time. We were just so happy that it was over and people liked it. And we were like, yeah, that's nice. Because it's like, filmmaking is like long distance running, you know. You can't you have to keep sitting, seeing the road and keeping at it. So the end is bonus for us. Whatever happens after it's over, we're like, oh, very nice. And that's extra. But the fact that we could make the film we wanted to make, that was, I think, for us all, and I keep looking there because they're all there, and they're really incredible people and incredible artists. So it was like that, like you just, you know, that the aftermath is all bonus.
So you're not getting fussed about what happens.
No, I mean, it's nice. Like, the film is releasing in India. I mean, somebody's going to buy a ticket to watch my movie. How nice is that? And thank you to Spirit Media for releasing it. Like, I really feel so happy about that.
Round of applause for Rana. Is he still in the house?
No.
No, okay, well.
Pratiksha is there.
Pratiksha, well done. Whichever direction you're in. Okay, I have one last slightly random question.
Okay.
I read in an interview, you got asked that what are your favorite mainstream Indian films?
Ugh.
And you said the Govinda #1 series.
No, I was going to say this Dule Raja. Remember this movie?
Of course!
I mean, it's a socialist film. You should see it. Rewatch films from the 90s, guys.
So, let it be known that Payal Kapadia, Grand Prix winner, is a Govinda fan.
I mean, it was the films that we were watching because I grew up at that time. So, it was the films that were there and we were watching them. And we have to embrace all our zeitgeist in cinema, so.
Bilkul, absolutely. And God knows Govinda has given us enough joy. Just like All We Imagine Is Light did this evening. Folks, November 22nd, please spread the word and thank you again, Payal.